don't let fear stop you from making new friends, trying new things. All this fun, exciting stuff was literally like right there, like we made it, and then it was just taken away, and like without warning pretty much.
I feel like who she is in my eyes, growing up she and I always talked about a Bible verse that I just really wanted her to imprint into her mind, so that no matter what circumstances came up, or what someone else might have thought about her, that she would just always remember that she is God's masterpiece.
Like, I mean, it is just life, and like we just have to adapt and everything, and I think that it's like helped prepare me for like anything that like life's gonna throw my way, because in the time it was like supposed to be the most exciting of your life, like to have that all completely changed around, like I think that's helped me be able to become easily adaptable to anything that is gonna come my way. Hi, I'm Sarah Johnson. I just graduated from George Rogers Clark High School in Winchester, Kentucky, and I'm going to college in the fall at Northern Kentucky University, and I will be majoring in nursing. I started playing volleyball when I was in the 7th grade, and then I started playing at a club, regional and national level in high school. I was varsity captain my junior year and sophomore year. It was a defensive specialist slash libero, which is like back row. I normally would pass. I wouldn't normally go up to the front row to hit. My sophomore year, I messed up my leg. I had like nerve damage in it from just like diving on my hip too much, and like it kind of like bone bruised it and just like messed up it. So I played 2 more seasons on it, and then I couldn't really take it anymore, so I had to stop. But now I play volleyball like just kind of for fun, like not nearly as competitive as I used to. But yeah, I used to with club ball, I would have practice every day after school, and then I would go travel out of state almost every single weekend with my team, and we would go compete at these big tournaments in like mostly Indianapolis. I think there was a Chicago, Nashville, and then we would try to bring home trophies. I didn't get to play volleyball my senior year because of my leg, but I was sad about it, but it wasn't like I was devastated, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to continue into college like I had thought that I would for like playing for like the actual school team. And so I think it was actually more of a good thing, because I was able to like focus on like my schoolwork and like college applications more, and I was able to bring up my ACT, which needed help for the final like little stretch of time that I had there in the fall. I didn't really like high school, but I liked certain parts of it, like Thanksgiving and Christmas lunch. That was really good. And I liked a lot of my teachers as people, not really as teachers for some of them. I feel like I didn't really like high school because I felt like I was just kind of forced to go there every single day and just sit there and not really just like wait for the bell to get to the next class pretty much, because like I didn't feel like I was really learning, because I wasn't learning the stuff that I really wanted to learn about, if that makes sense. Like with college, I feel like it's gonna be better because I like picked my major, and like these are the classes you have to take to like finish that major. And so I feel like with nursing, like I'm gonna be studying more like science and like math and stuff, which is what I'm more interested in, rather than like history, English, or like classes like that I was required to take to graduate. And I liked sneaking out of school early. That was always kind of fun. I didn't really go to school that much actually, now that I think about it, because I mean, I could do what I learned in school that day in like 20 minutes when I came home, so I didn't really feel the need to go to school that much. So I just kind of didn't go because I didn't really like being there. And my parents seemed okay with it because my grades were always like a 4.0 or above, so yeah. Academically, I struggled in school with mainly just the ACT, because that test decides how much scholarship money you're getting for places pretty much. And then having my older brother Seth, he got a 34 and a 36 is the highest you can get. And so to have him get like a 34, I think on his second try, really set the bar very high for myself and my younger brother Sam. And so when I took it my first time, I was nowhere near a 34. And so I felt this sort of pressure on myself to try to get up into the 30s at least, because my older brother did it, and so then my parents were kind of, I feel like, expecting it. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I'd never got into the 30s, but I finished out with a 27, which I'm pretty proud of because I started down at a 21, and so I studied so much for that test, so I really did everything that I could to bring my score up. So I am happy with my 27 now. But during the time where I was struggling to bring my score up, like, it just felt never ending, like, stress, because my older brother had a 34, so I just felt like it was expected of me to get somewhere close in that range. And then personally, I struggled with making friends and sort of living in Sam's shadow. My freshman year I had this really close group of friends, but then my sophomore year we had like a really big falling out, and so I didn't really have any friends my whole sophomore year. And then my junior year I began like making more friends, and then Sam kind of helped me out. And then senior year I was like, well, junior year I was sort of just kind of there because through sophomore and junior year I didn't really talk to that many people, so I was just kind of known as Sam's sister. And so then leading into senior year I was like, okay, I know who I am now, and then I was like, let's use it to have like some fun. So then I became friends, like I got a lot of friends. I became friends with Sam's friends, like they we actually all became friends. Instead of them just knowing me as Sam's sister, I was now like Sara, like their friend. I just sort of took it day by day, or like test by test, to come over my struggles, because like I always knew that I was doing my best, because that's like what I was expected of me and what I expected of myself. And so at the end of the day, like I knew that like I was doing my best, and like that was really all that I could do in overcoming those struggles. The beginning of senior year, I was super excited because I never really liked high school. So it was like sort of like the final stretch. And so I remember being so excited to just like go, and I was really excited to sit in the front of the student section, because like that's just sort of like a senior privilege, and I was looking forward to all these sort of senior privileges like prom, graduation, project grad, like just like senior pictures, like all the stuff that seniors get to look forward to. And so going through the year, like it was normal. It was a little stressful in the fall with college applications and trying to raise up your ACT, like get those finishing touches on everything, getting ready for college. But then it wasn't bad though, and I was still so excited because like after I got the first semester out of the way, then I was like, okay, the second semester's coming up, and that's where like all the fun stuff is in the spring and stuff. And so going through January to like March, I was just getting more excited every day, specifically for prom because I really was looking forward to that. But then in March, I think it was like March 13th was our last day in school, like in person, and none of us actually like knew that was the last day. And I remember sitting in class with my friends, and the Sweet 16 boys and girls basketball tournament had just gotten canceled, and both of our girls and guys were in the tournament, so we were all pretty sad about that. And then I remember sitting there and like we all just kind of looked at each other and we were like, this is like it, like we were going to be really shocked if that wasn't the last day. And we all had hope that it wasn't, but I think deep down like we all knew that like we were never going to all be like in that school together again as students, which is really sad because I always thought that like I didn't like school, but then when I was robbed of the last 2 months of my senior year, where prom and graduation, senior skip day, senior prank, all this fun exciting stuff was literally like right there, like we literally like we made it, and then it was just taken away and like without warning pretty much. And so that was pretty devastating. But some of the senior moms did this thing where they had like swag bags and they would fill them with like candy and like food coupons and little like things that say like senior strong, stuff like that, which kind of helped. And they did this giveaway thing which was really fun. I never won anything with it, but it was really like cool to see like the parents and the community kind of coming together to try to help make a senior still feel special with it. But I was really saddened with not getting to wear my prom dress that we'd bought, or getting to walk across the stage at graduation like on the football field or in the new arena with all my friends, which was very sad.
Well, I was really sad that her senior year was cut short because she missed out on so many kind of once in a lifetime events that happen at the end of senior year. So that just made me sad. I feel like this whole thing has been harder on her than it has us, just because she was missing out on all those things.
I was sad too, but I was angry too because I just feel like it shouldn't have happened. They should not have shut down everything. Basically, there was no point to it. It didn't save any lives. It didn't prevent anyone getting COVID or anything like that. So I'm just angry that they ruined so many lives by doing something that really was unnecessary.
Back in February when I went prom dress shopping, like that was when the excitement was like full peak for me, because I like went to Miss Priss and I tried on all these dresses and I found my dream dress. And then I was getting so excited, like, because all of the girls at school, we were like showing off our dresses to each other, and everybody was just getting super excited. And at GRC, like, it's different at some schools, but GRC had like senior only prom, and so I'd never gotten to go to prom like my freshman through junior year. And so like I was just so excited to finally get to go to prom. And then it was just so sudden because when they first like called off school, they told us that there was another date set in the future, which was like May 15th, I think. And so then we were all like, oh, okay, like that's, you know, like we're still gonna get a prom, it's just gonna be later, so it's okay. But then when they decided to cancel the rest of the school year, and then they just canceled prom and graduation with it, that just like was awful. So every little girl kind of just like thinks prom is gonna be so special. It's like your last school dance, and you get to get all dressed up in like a big fancy long dress, and you're gonna have like a date, and you're going with all your friends, and it's just gonna be like such like a great magical time. The biggest challenge I faced in the past 5 years was probably my sophomore year, when I initially lost like my ability to play ball with my leg being damaged and my hip and everything, and then losing my best friend and like my whole friend group that I was like super close with too, all within like the same week, because those were like the people that I was really close with. Like I literally only talked to them. And so then when you just kind of didn't really have anyone there, or like you just kind of had like I just kind of wallowed in my sadness, which wasn't very good. But and then it sort of like took me on a downward spiral that entire year, where I didn't really know what to do or who to turn to, who to talk to. And so that whole sophomore year, and a little bit of the beginning of my junior year as well, was just a really like dark time. But like I talked about this before, but I kind of like was like, one day I just woke up and I was just kind of like, okay, you've been sad for so long, like something has to change. And then I told my parents that I was like really sad about everything, and then I started like reading my Bible and then getting close with my relationship with God. And then it took a while, but then I finally got out of that, I guess, season of my life, and now like everything's good. So I've been friends with the girls of the friend group since middle school. So 3 years, so 6th, 7th, 8th, those were like my best friends. And then so freshman year we were best friends, but then this guy was also involved in the friend group then, and so me and him were closer than like me and the girls were. Like we were best friends. He was basically my boyfriend, but we never really put a label on it. But so then this summer from freshman to sophomore year was when I'd gotten like really, well, freshman year was when I got really serious about volleyball, because I was like, okay, if you're gonna play in college, like you have to be super good. So then I started with the school team, and then that was the first year I decided to play club ball, and I made it on a regional team. And then that summer I sort of spent training for volleyball, and so while I was out here training and like just constantly on a volleyball court, these friends were like hanging out without me and everything. But like it was like they invited me, but I was like, sorry, I have volleyball. So then, you know, cut forward to like the beginning of the school year, and like I had just been named varsity captain my sophomore year and everything, and they like just kind of stopped inviting me to hang out because I always had volleyball, which I didn't really care that they were hanging out without me. It was just the fact that like they didn't really invite me anymore. And then we were sitting in class one day, and then they just kind of started talking like bad about me because they were saying that I was choosing volleyball over like the friendships and everything, which I mean I guess was true. At the same time, I was like volleyball was just like the biggest part of my life, but I was still friends with them. But then one day, like, we just kind of started distancing ourselves, and then all of a sudden, like, I was just out of all the group chats and everything, and we just didn't talk anymore. Since then, I feel like I've really grown in my faith and just wanted to grow closer to God, and with it being like my decision and everything. And so college, my sister-in-law told me, is like the biggest place, like the best place, I guess, for you to choose your own path or on what you're going for. And she said that it's good to have people who are like-minded as you right there, because there you can literally choose to go any path you want in college, because there's literally every single option there possible. And so I feel like that would be a really good thing for me to do. I grew up in a Christian household, and we always went to church on Sundays and everything. But I feel like there's a point in everybody's life that like they have to decide like they're gonna get serious about their faith. So like I'd always been Christian, but then up until I think it was my sophomore year of high school, I went through like a really big rough patch. That was initially when I had injured my leg with volleyball, and then I lost my best friend, and then like the whole friend group that we had there with that. And so I didn't really have anybody to turn to for comfort. So then I just kind of like was chilling up in my room and opened my Bible, and then that was like kind of what got me into like being like super serious about my faith, because when like nobody else was there for me, like Jesus was.
So my faith is really important to me, and no one's perfect, of course, but I have grown a lot, especially in recent years, in my faith. But I have always wanted all of our children to be, well, not even so much just to be involved with church, but I wanted them to understand what it meant to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and how that's what's important, and to cultivate that. And of course, going to church and being part of children's ministry and youth group, I mean, that all plays into that. But I just always wanted that for them, so they would have that solid foundation as they grew older, to know what that relationship meant and what that looked like. And I tried to do my best to show them that in my actions, and when I would make mistakes, trying to talk with them about, just how I didn't handle something properly, and let them know when I was praying about things and how I talked to God. So I tried to model some of that as best I could to them as well, just to help them know what that looked like, and they would have that foundation and something to lean back on as they grew and matured and decided, what their path in their life was going to look like.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, faith has always been important to me, and it was important to us even before we had kids, but we just wanted them to grow up having that foundation, having that knowledge about Jesus. Like I say, not necessarily so much about just going to church, but just learning, just knowing what that was all about, so that as they grew and could think for themselves more, they would have that knowledge and they could make the decision for themselves. It's just something we always wanted and tried to be a part of their lives.
I was adopted when I was 7 months old from Nanjing, China. My parents flew over to China and adopted me and brought me back to the United States. Growing up, I always knew that I was different. Like, I just knew that I looked different, but I wasn't really, like, I mean, nobody that I really knew up until the 6th grade kind of made it like a thing. So I was just kind of like, oh yeah, like, I'm adopted, like, and it never really was like a bad thing. But, and then into middle school, of course, kids are just jerks in middle school too. So then people like would start making like comments and stuff about like birth parents like not wanting me, like stuff like that. But then I was always just sort of like, well, my parents kind of chose to get me. Yours, I mean, kind of just had to have you. So yeah, but I always knew that like I was a different race, if that makes sense, but it never really was an issue for me. Like, people would make their side comments and stuff, and like some of them were hurtful, but for the most part it was just sort of like, at the end of the day, like, I have like a family that loves me just the same as if I was born from them, so it never really seemed to bother me that much.
So deciding to adopt, I feel like we always knew, or you always knew, that you wanted both to be able to adopt and have biological children, both from the very beginning.
I did.
And I remember us just talking about that from the very beginning, that was something you wanted, and I was open to that. And then we went to a seminar on Chinese adoption, and we walked out of that seminar, and I feel like that's the moment we knew that's what we're supposed to do. That was the answer. We just knew beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Right, yeah, I mean, I always, like you say, I'm not sure why, I just always knew I wanted to do that. I wanted to adopt, and there was a lot of girls in China that needed a home, so I kind of leaned towards that. And then once we went to the seminar and really found out more about it, there was no doubt once we left there that that's what I wanted to do.
And I think we started the paperwork very shortly after that seminar, and then it was a very long process of going through the paperwork and then waiting for them to match a child to us, and then being able to travel to get her. But I feel like, I mean, even before we laid eyes on her, I feel like she was ours. Even before we saw her and they placed her in our arms, like, it was a God thing. She was our baby all along.
My younger brother is 2 months younger than me. When my parents were trying to get pregnant to have him, but then they couldn't, so then they were like, maybe like we're not supposed to have a kid right now, so then they were looking into adoption. And then later they found out that they could adopt me, and then they also found out that they were pregnant with my younger brother, so that was a pretty cool story. Growing up, Sam and I were literally always together. One of my church pastors was talking to us the other day. He's saying that like we would used to walk into a children's church holding hands because like we were just so close. And so growing up, like we would always play like Barbies or Star Wars together. Like we literally were like inseparable. But then leading up into like past elementary school into middle school and high school, I always struggled more making friends than he did because he was more extroverted than I am. And so he like had all of these friends and all these people that like knew him, and then I was just sort of there like next to him because we're still really close, but he has a lot more friends and people that he knows than I do. And so I was always just kind of sort of there in the background, it felt like, as like just Sam's sister, because like literally people at school would come up to me and they'd be like, you're Sam's sister, right? Which that would kind of bothered me, but then I just kind of sort of figured out who I was, and then I did find friends, and then like now it doesn't bother me anymore. I have an older brother. His name is Seth, and he works with my dad in his business. And Seth actually just got married in April to Kelsey, who's now my sister-in-law, and I was so excited to finally get a sister because I had waited 18 years to get one. So that was really exciting when he told us that he had proposed to her back last year, and then that they were going to get married and everything. My dad, his name is Steve. He owns Wildlife Removal Pros of Central Kentucky, and that is like when a raccoon or a squirrel or something can get into your house, my dad like comes and he finds where it was getting in, and he sets a trap or multiple traps and traps them, and then he can also like repair like the damage that like the animal did like to get in the house if there was damage or something, because he's really skilled in carpentry too. And that's like what Seth has basically been doing since he got out of college too. And then my mom is like my best friend. We've always been really close, like from me like growing up until now, and probably until forever, because like I can tell her anything and she's like just always there for me, and she's so loving and supportive of literally anything that I decide to do, and so she's just the best mom ever. I think people first think that I'm this really shy, quiet girl when they first meet me, but I'm only like that until you get to know me. I'm sort of always still kind of more conserved, but I think I'm a lot of fun to be around, so. A lot of studying is what I kind of expect to happen in college. I hope that I'm gonna like meet a lot of new people, like people that have the same interests as me, because high school was kind of like smaller, if that makes sense. So with like a bigger like community of a university, I feel like I'm gonna make more friends, and with the same interests, like with studying and my major and like volleyball, stuff like that. I'm both nervous and excited for college because it is such like a big change, but like that's nerve-wracking but exciting at the same time, because I'm gonna be moving away from the home that I've literally grown up in, and I'm gonna be living with a stranger in a dorm that's super small, so that'll be pretty interesting. And I am excited to make new friends and kind of get like a fresh start somewhere, and I'm nervous for the same reasons, I guess. It's really weird to explain because it's just all so new, and I won't really have anybody that I know at Northern, so it's just going to be a really interesting, nerve-wracking but exciting experience. I was accepted into the honors program at Northern, so that's going to be fun. I'm also in the nursing living learning community, which is kind of like you live with the people who have the same major as you, and so it's like they're literally like you're all in this hall together, so you can literally just like have a study session like right there, and all the people that you are majoring with are right there with you. I'm also looking to get into like sort of like a club or sort of intramural type volleyball, because like volleyball's always been a big part of my life, and so I want that to continue even though I'm not able to play at the actual like collegiate level. And I think I'm gonna join some sort of faith-based ministry when I get to Northern. I'm not really sure like what they have up there, but I mean I assume they have one for Christians, because my faith has always been like a really big part of my life, and I think that it was a good idea to sort of have people there who have the same beliefs as me that like I'm close with. I always knew I wanted to go into the medical field, but I wasn't really sure how. And so at my high school, there was this certified nursing assistant program that you could take for like half of a year. And then on the second half of the year, you would go out and you would have this internship at the hospital. Most nursing or medical majors make you have your CNA first. And so I knew that that would just be a good idea to go on and get that while I was in high school. And then with the internship, I would be able to go to the hospital and see like the different departments and kind of see like what I wanted to do, because from my up until junior year, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to go into the medical field. And so then my senior year, when I realized that my school offered that, I thought that was a good idea to take it. And then when I got into my internship at the hospital, I like went into the infusion lab kind of and like watched like chemotherapy, just like medicine, like liquid medicine drips and stuff, and I thought that was really cool. And the nurses there kind of like had like an actual like relationship with the patients, because they would be coming in like weekly or some even like daily for their medicine, which is part of like what I was looking for with like nurse patient like relationship kind of. I wanted to get to know them and like their story, so I would be able to better understand them and be able to help them better.
She has talked a lot about wanting to be in a field where she can help people, and I can just see her, you know, in being in this field, I could see her not only being able to help people physically, but also emotionally and spiritually, just by being the person she is and being that caring person. It wasn't really a surprise to me.
No, I wasn't really surprised either. I mean, she's talked about being a nurse for a long time, and how she wants to help people and just be there when people need her. So I think it'll be a really good fit for her.
I picked Northern because it was far enough away from home that I could get freedom, but close enough to like if something would happen, my parents could literally drive like an hour and 20 minutes and then be there, or I could come home like every weekend. I think I'm gonna like it up there because I toured it like 4 times and fell in love with it more every time I was up there. But I also liked that not very many people from GRC were going there, so that I could just get like a fresh start with new people in a new city and just kind of sort of make my own life up there. I am looking forward to meeting new friends and people, and I want to just have fun. Like, it's gonna be like a new experience. It's like I'm by myself, it's a fresh start. I won't be known as just kind of Sam's sister, so I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. In 5 years, I will be a year out of college, so I see myself working as a nurse either in Lexington or Cincinnati. I'm not really sure where I want to live yet, but I see myself having a job at a good hospital and probably, hopefully married, maybe, I don't know.
I am most excited for her future, probably to see exactly where in the healthcare field she lands, because she's talked about a few different things as she started thinking about going into that field, and I'll just be excited to see exactly where God puts her and how He uses her in that field. So that's probably what I'm most excited about.
I'm probably most excited to see her fall in love, get married, start a family, have kids, that sort of thing. I mean, I'm excited about her career also, but I'm more excited about what she will do in her personal life.
And to see her, one day get to be a mom, I know that that's something she wants, so that's exciting.
I was originally planning to go to Northern Kentucky University in the fall, but about 3 days ago, my roommate texted me about my class schedule and to go look because almost all of hers had been moved online, and so I went and looked and all of mine were now online, and I was supposed to be living in a dorm up there, and they still were like wanting me to live in a dorm up there, but I didn't think it was a good idea to go pay $9,000 to just sit in my dorm and take online classes. And I called NKU and was asking them about like student life, like what would it look like with like sports and sororities and like clubs, stuff like that, and they were saying that they were gonna have to limit that too. And so as of right now, I'm going to attend Eastern Kentucky University, and I'll be doing my nursing there as my major, and I will be living at home and commuting there to help save money. I'm a little sad that I'm not going to get to go to NKU anymore, but it makes a lot more sense to just go to EKU and live at home than to go sit in a dorm and pay so much money to just take online classes. I feel kind of sad that my senior year and now my freshman year of college, everything has just been constantly changed or taken away, but I think it's going to help prepare me better for like my future in life, where like a lot of just unexpected things have happened, and that will help me be ready for really anything that life decides to throw my way in the future. When I started looking at colleges, I actually didn't even tour EKU because my older brother went there, and I was just like, well, Seth went there, so I'm not gonna go there. But I thought I'd apply just so I could have an option like open for me. And so now like I'm kind of shocked that I'm gonna go there, but I think it's gonna be like a good experience for me. Since I will be living at home my first year and commuting to campus, I hope for my sophomore year I can get sort of like the freshman college experience, even though I'll be a sophomore. I hope to live in a dorm and like have a roommate and like use like the community bathroom, like the hallway bathroom and everything. That probably sounds weird to a lot of people, but like I was really looking forward to like just kind of getting the freshman college experience. For a long time I thought NKU was where I was supposed to be, but after the past couple days of the full of stress and everything trying to figure out where I was actually supposed to be, I feel like the most at peace that I have like in a long time over this decision to go to Eastern Kentucky University, and I really feel like that's where I'm truly supposed to be.
Well, the switch between colleges really didn't matter as much to me. I just wanted her to be happy with her decision and have peace about her decision in switching schools. I know she was really excited about going to Northern initially, but I feel like she really weighed all of her options and she did a lot of research on it given the circumstances, and I'm proud of the decision that she made. I feel like she made a good decision.
I was a little sad for her because I know she had done a lot of planning and she was really looking forward to going to Northern, and just with the situation with everything, she just had to kind of take a different route and figure out what to do, so it made me a little sad.
Well, kind of along with the switching schools question, one of the other things that I was sad about is just that she won't have that living in a dorm, that real kind of college experience because of everything going on. So I guess with the change, I mean, I hope that she can still experience at least a little bit of that college life feeling and some of the fun activities. Hopefully they will still offer some fun activities and she can participate in those. But the main thing is I just hope she comes out of college with a career that she loves.
I just hope she really finds a career that she likes and she enjoys doing for the rest of her life. I just want her to be happy with what she's doing, and I hope she learns the skills to be successful at that career, whatever it might be.
Well, not as much as I was when she was going to go to Northern. I would have been more nervous in that scenario because she was going to live in the dorm. She was going to be further away from home. I knew that she would be okay, but I would have been more nervous than I will be now with her living at home and commuting to college. So not as nervous now.
Yeah, I'm not really that nervous. I mean, I'm just a little nervous just that she'll be away, and it'd be harder for me to be there for her if she needs something, but with her commuting, I think I'm not nearly so nervous. So.
Not really. I guess a little bit, but overall I'm going to be nervous either way with either one of them leaving home. But being a girl, of course, there's always a little more of a nervousness there that she may be a little more vulnerable being out and about by herself than maybe her brother would. But I also know she can take care of herself. So.
Yeah, I think there is a difference just with her being a girl. I feel like she's more vulnerable and just more apt for something bad to happen, I guess, where I feel like the boys probably could take care of themselves a little better.
So, being really honest and transparent, this is a tough question. But Steve and I were talking about this one a little bit, and I feel like who she is in my eyes is, growing up, she and I always talked about a Bible verse that I just really wanted her to imprint into her mind so that no matter what circumstances came up or what someone else might have thought about her, that she would just always remember that she is God's masterpiece. And that's really what I see when I look at her, is she's God's masterpiece inside and out, and there's so many things about her that that just go right back into that image of her. So she's always had a heart for Jesus and her friends and her family, and just full of that love, and that's kind of how I see her in my eyes.
In my eyes, she'll always be my little girl, I think. So it's hard to see past that. I mean, she'll always be someone I need to look out for and protect, and just always be there for her. And even though I can see she's grown into be a strong, independent young woman, I will always kind of feel that need to be her protector and be there for her.
I don't know that I can answer what I'm most proud of, because I'm proud of her for so many things. She has overcome a lot in her life, especially being adopted. That just brings on a whole lot of other things and expectations and words and things that other people kind of put on you. And so I'm just really proud of how she has always handled all of that. And I know there have been times when she's really struggled with it, and she's just very strong. She's very strong, and she's very determined. And when she puts her mind to something, she's going to do it, and she's going to overcome it. And that's probably what I'm the most proud of her for, if I had to pick a thing.
It's really hard for me even to put into words how proud I am of Sarah. She just grown up to be a beautiful, talented, smart young woman, and she's got a lot of faith in Jesus and in God, and just I'm just really proud of everything she does, proud of the woman she's become. I just can't say how proud I am of her.
This is our first veggies out of our garden. No?
First of all, I don't know, maybe it's what we do, so.
Yes, you can put it in there. This is gonna be actually. Dad said she could get more, but that was plenty.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, balls, burger, and then we'll switch it.
See my cards with it, or I can see your cards with it. Let's give you Uno. I win.
Burger anyway.
When Dad gets on Sunday,
No, I'm good.
are you trying to eat squash and peas now? Come on, you're always saying you want. None for you.
Oh, is there mayonnaise?
Sarah made the burgers. Why do you blame the crumble?
All right. Looks good.
I just got my class schedule a couple days ago and I'm pretty excited. I only have in-person classes on Tuesday, Thursdays, which is good since I'm commuting, and then the rest of them are online, so I think it'll be pretty good. Like, since I've been doing online schooling since March, like it won't be that much of a difference, but it will be nice to be able to like go to campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays and like interact with like other students. I kind of wish all my classes were in person, but with them being online, like I think it's gonna save me some gas money, which is good. And sometimes like if I don't want to get up early for like my 8 a.m. and drive over to campus, like I can just get up and sit in bed and watch the Zoom lesson, which is good. Honestly, I don't think I've done very much to prepare for college, because where I was going to NKU, like I was buying stuff for my dorm and like getting all that stuff ready, which was like fun and everything, but I haven't actually thought that much about classes and stuff yet. And that's probably because like this is like a whole new experience for me, but with it being like a whole new experience for me, it's also a whole new experience for everyone, I feel like, with it being in the pandemic and everything. So I'm just working on like, the EKU sent me like a checklist of like payments and like registering my car for like parking and everything, and so I'm just focusing on doing that stuff, and hopefully everything else will come to me. I'm getting pretty nervous for college because yesterday I realized that if I was still going to NKU, I would have been moving in a week, because honors would move in a week earlier than everybody else. And so like that just hit me, and then all my friends are talking about like moving out in 2 weeks and stuff, and so like it's getting real. But I think that like it'll still be good. Don't procrastinate on your work and like actually go to class because you're paying for it, so that'd be pretty stupid to just sleep through it. Try to stay organized. Yeah, and just go to class. It'd be nice to make a couple friends, but because I'm only going to campus on Tuesday, Thursdays, and on Thursdays for only one class, like I feel like it might be a little bit harder to make friends, but I'm hoping that like the fear of people not liking me will like go past. Like I like won't let that stop me from like talking to people and getting to know people. With the end of my senior year getting taken away and like freshman college experience getting taken away, it's kind of like, it's sad and it has like affected me a lot, like, but I think that it's like, I mean, it is just life and like we just have to adapt and everything, and I think that it's like helped prepare me for like anything that like life's gonna throw my way, because like in the time it was like supposed to be the most exciting of your life, like to have that all completely changed around, like I think that's helped me be able to become easily adaptable to anything that is gonna come my way. I'm excited and I'm nervous. I don't know, honestly. Like I'm just really ready for this whole new experience of life. I think college is harder than I expected because I just really didn't think, I guess, that the professors were just like not gonna like really explain anything or like try to like teach it, if that makes sense. Some professors probably are different, but the ones I have right now just seem to just kind of be posting the assignments or like just saying like, here, do this, and then it's due by this date and you just have to kind of figure it out for yourself. So in that way it's a lot harder. So the first week is syllabus week, so in really only one of my classes did we actually only have just to look over the syllabus. My other three classes, which were math and chemistry and another chemistry class, we've actually already started the content, but the professors are not very good at teaching it, so I've had to teach myself, which is kind of a struggle, but we're working with it. My first week, I'm a lot more tired than I thought I would be because it's actually a lot more work than I had anticipated it was going to be, from where I actually have to teach myself now, rather than like in high school where I had to like just sit in the class and the teacher would actually like be able to explain it. I like about college is that like I really only have to go like 2 days to campus, whereas like high school I had to go like 5 days a week for like 8 hours. I kind of wish that my class that I'm commuting for right now like actually went the full time, because I'm driving 40 minutes to campus on Tuesday, Thursdays, but he's letting it out 45 minutes early, so I'm driving and sitting there for 30 minutes and then driving back home, and he doesn't even talk really about the content, so that's fun, but attendance is a pretty big chunk of your grade, so I'm kind of required to be there. I am definitely already stressed because I've had so much due and it's only the first week, so that's just setting a standard, I think, for the rest of the semester. And I'm having to actually teach myself all of it rather than having a professor like be able to kind of explain it or kind of walk me through it. And I just like have so much to do, and the professors like to assign things and not tell you, so I have to keep checking my email and Blackboard daily to make sure that I'm not missing an assignment that's going to be due very soon. So that's very fun, learning that if I wake up on a Friday thinking I have everything done for the weekend and then my professors have actually posted a couple assignments, then I have to do those over the weekend, which is not very fun to wake up to. I thought I knew what being tired was before I started college, but that literally has nothing on how I feel now. Like, if I'm not at work, I'm home doing schoolwork. Or even on my breaks at work, I've been doing my schoolwork because it's literally just so much. And so literally I'll wake up before I go into work in the mornings and do like an hour of my schoolwork, and then I'll go to work, I'll do it on my breaks at work, and then I come home and I eat and like shower and stuff, and then I start my homework from the time I finish that till like about midnight when I go to bed. I'm not really excited for any of my classes, and that sounds really bad probably, but they're just like, it's hard. Like, I'm just having to teach myself and struggle over here. On my very first day driving to campus, because this was the first time I've ever driven to Richmond before, and so it was pouring the rain, and so I couldn't really see while driving, so that was really interesting too. And then I didn't dress appropriately, so wear a rain jacket. That's nice when it's raining too. I was worried about making friends. I drove to campus like 30 minutes early because I didn't know. I wasn't for sure really where I was going still, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough time to like figure out where and get like set up in the classroom and everything. And so another girl had done the same thing, and so she was standing out there, and she's actually a commuter too. And so we just started talking. We were like, so what class are you waiting on? And then we actually ended up waiting on the same class. So then we walked in, and now we have seats next to each other, and we got each other Snapchats, and we've been like talking and stuff. So that's good that I have a friend for my in-person class. And then we ended up sitting next to two other girls who kind of were like the same that we were. And so then we all made a group chat, and so now I have 3 friends, and it's pretty cool to have friends actually on campus, so you're not just kind of walking by yourself back and forth places. It's also really good that we're all freshmen because we're all in the same boat with trying to like figure out like how the whole college experience is gonna work, because I thought like when I was sitting there in class and the professor just started talking about random stuff, that I was like, wait, is this how college is about to go? But then after class we always like walk out together and talk about like what our professor was talking about that day, and it's very like nice and peaceful to know that they are just as confused with the whole situation as I am. In high school, you didn't really have to study, if that makes sense, or really even do your homework, like actually like work on it, like spend like hours doing it. Like I would do my homework the class or before it was due and be fine and get like a 100 on it. But now in college, I'm over here like slaving away when I'm not at work on like my homework, trying to figure it out and teach it to myself. I think I like how in college, like, people don't really care what you're wearing or really what you look like or anything, because we're all just trying our best to just get our degree, and that's really all we're trying to do in college. Like, nobody cares, like, really if you played sports or if you were a nerd or anything in high school, like, in, like, the social groups that you were kind of put into in high school. So I really think that that's very interesting, how nobody really cares if you wore the same clothes to class yesterday as you did today, because like you're just there to get your degree and go on with your life. Like, I hope I learned to balance work and school better, because right now that's all I'm doing. But I think it's also partially because I'm trying to get ahead in all of my classes right now too. So once I like get kind of a little bit further ahead, I think that it's gonna like kind of sort of balance out, and then like once I get like the hang of like how things are gonna be, it's gonna get easier. So don't lose hope that you're gonna be this tired and overworked the whole semester. Don't procrastinate and try to stay like ahead, because right now I already am kind of ahead in my classes, which is good because I don't want to have to stress too much. But definitely don't procrastinate, because like that's just not a good idea. And check like Blackboard every single day, multiple times a day. So we redid my room for this semester since I decided to live at home and go to EKU instead. And so I have my Christmas tree up because it's December and Christmas is right around the corner. I'm so excited. And then right here is where I would do all my schoolwork and stuff. So I have like all this little setup here with my laptop and my planner and then my notebooks and everything. And then this way, I have these poster type deal things that I was gonna hang on this wall, but the Christmas tree's there right now, so I didn't think it would make sense to put them up yet. But I have my jersey and stuff that had been hanging on the wall recently. And then I also have this sign from Hobby Lobby. Love Hobby Lobby because it's so cute. And I'm not really sure where I'm gonna hang this one yet, but I really like the message on it. And I was gonna go in my dorm room, but since I'm here, we just haven't figured out where to hang it yet. We painted the walls a gray because before they were a bright teal and green color from like when I was 13, which I really liked then, but I kind of wanted something more mature and older since I'm in college now. And then over here, I just have my poster for this documentary that we're filming, which is pretty cute, I think. And then I love books, so I have like all the Harry Potters and all middle school Sara books right there. And then over here I got a keyboard for my birthday because I really like playing music and I play the guitar and the ukulele, and so I thought it would be fun to try to learn the keyboard while I'm still just chilling at home. At the beginning of the semester, it was really rough. I didn't understand that you had to check like your assignments every day and that the professors just kind of assigned it and didn't tell you. Like, the syllabus is literally your best friend in college, where in high school the syllabus was like you got your parents to sign it, and that was pretty much the only time you ever touched it. And then going towards like the middle of the semester, it was like it got like so stressful because the work just seemed never ending, and I was literally just drowning in all of my classes because they were all at like full speed. And then towards the end of the semester, some of my classes ended before other classes, which was really nice, and I was able to like kind of relax and study for not more important classes, but like my chemistry and biology classes as a nursing major. Those are put higher than like math and English, so the math and English like kind of ended a little bit earlier, and then all my other classes are still going or just ended like this week. And so it's been pretty simple at the end. Like, and the finals were not as hard as I thought they would be. Like, as long as you studied for them, then I feel like, at least in my classes, the finals were made up of the assignments that you'd already done, and so it was pretty easy to just kind of finish out the semester. I liked about college that you didn't have to go to a building and sit for 8 hours a day, and where in college you can go to class, or your classes are online, and it's just only like an hour or two, and then you have like the rest of the day to go to work or do some of your other schoolwork and stuff. Like, I like the flexibility of having mostly online classes and being able to do the work on my time and still be able to work my job and hang out with my friends and everything. I disliked not getting to have the college experience that I pictured I would get back in like February and March when I had committed to Northern Kentucky, but at the end of the day, I really liked being able to just kind of chill at home and do schoolwork on my terms and not really have to worry about going to class and everything. I had a love-hate relationship with chemistry this semester. So in the very beginning of chemistry, from like week 1 to week 7, it was like super easy. I was getting A's on everything, turning in everything. And then organic chemistry hit, and that is the hardest thing that I've ever tried to learn. And honestly, if I had to take an organic chemistry class, I really don't think that I would be a nursing major anymore. That is so hard to understand, and I have so much respect for anybody who can understand organic chemistry. I really don't think that I would change anything about the way that the semester went, because like everything happens for a reason. And while it wasn't the college, like the first semester experience that I thought I would get, it was still like really good and everything, and I was able to do like what I wanted, which was really nice. I feel like I became more responsible about my schoolwork since August, where in high school, not to say I wasn't responsible about my schoolwork in high school because I did turn in everything and complete it, but I didn't really go to school that much because I just didn't really want to go. But in college, I feel like because like this semester I was able to do everything like when I wanted or when I like needed, I guess. It was a lot easier to balance and manage everything when I didn't have to like sit through other classes and everything. I just feel like I've grown to be more responsible with my schoolwork and everything this semester, just because in college I feel like you have to either step into the responsibility or you're not gonna make it. My advice to you is to not stress too much about your schoolwork, because you were literally putting yourself through it basically twice when you did. You spent so much time this past semester worrying about your grade in chemistry and biology, and then after every test it was okay, like you did fine. So don't put so much stress onto yourself, because that's only just going to make it worse. And remember to sleep, because that is so important, because in the middle of the semester you were not sleeping very much and it was making you struggle even more with your schoolwork. So sleep is super important when you're in college, and just don't stress as much because it's not worth it. My last piece of advice to myself is to not stress about school as much as you did this first semester, because it was all so new to you, so it was okay to stress that much. But at the end of every test or every quiz or every assignment, like, your grade was always fine.
When you walked into the room, I couldn't keep my eyes off of you. Was it make-believe, or was it a dream? I've been waiting all my life. Feels like I've struck a gold mine. With your hand in mine, our love came alive. We've still got the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. Oh, the rest of our lives. Dance with me